Good morning, everyone. Brian Rhodes here. I'm tired this morning. I've been up a lot of the night writing. I'm actually going through a rewrite of a script I started maybe 5 years ago. It's good. It's very good, actually, I think. But you know, there are just some parts of it I can't bring home. There's just certain things that are best to happen at different places in a screenplay. And, you know, it's just not a matter of putting together a stream of thoughts or scenes or whatever. There's got to be some, I think I've said this before, some real shape to it. It's like building your acting as well, which I want to talk about tomorrow. It's like taking a series of events, not just scenes, and then you have to move them forward. There's got to be that continuity, that logical jump to the next step for each of the sub-stories that you're dealing with. And in this particular case, it happens to be with the main character. And it's at a time in the film or in the screenplay where you don't really have to be too serious. In fact, it's better if you're not. It's not a place to advance the plot or to some extent, to certainly advance maybe the character's perception. But anyway, the point is that it's got to be something that really sort of hits home. I'll give you an example of what I mean. As you know by now, I'm a very big fan of Save the Cat, and excuse me. And the example he gives for this particular section of the screenplay is, if I remember correctly, it's about I think Sylvester Stallone was in it, and his mom did become his partner. So there was a buddy cop thing. And in this particular, I forget the name of the film, it doesn't matter. But in this particular screenplay, he came up with a wonderful little idea that really, when I watched the film, it really did stand out. There's no question about it, because it was so funny, and it was exactly what is needed in this part of the screenplay. Basically, it was a cop chase, but instead of Sylvester Stallone getting behind the wheel, his mom gets behind the wheel. And so they're conducting this cop chase with his mom, driving nice as she should, following all the rules, putting her hand out to turn the window. Oh, it was quite funny. And so you can see how it's got to be an event or something. And it doesn't have to be a big event, but it's just got to be something that you kind of remember about the movie, something that is going to stand out, even if it's, in this case, it's a bit more of a challenge, because there's an intimacy involved in this, and so if you get too overboard with it, it becomes comical. And this isn't a screenplay in which you want comical. You may want humor, and even some subliminal humor, shall we say. But the fact is, it can't be comical, because it doesn't respect the characters in the scene, whose shall I say, types and everything else have already been decided, and they're very important in this screenplay. So anyway, I'm just trying to figure that out, and I haven't come up with one yet. So I'm a little disappointed, but I will stay at it. That's something else you want to know. A writer's life can be a very lonely life. I mean, I can tell you, I sat for at least, for about 2 hours before I went on and started working on another scene. But maybe even over 2 hours, where I just sat there and tried to focus in on this particular scene. you know, I went and got a coffee, went out and sat in the balcony, about 3 o'clock in the morning, I guess, maybe a little later. And you know something? I even brought a pen and paper out to see if that would help. Nothing. So I went back to my iPad Pro and I sat down and looked at the screen there for a few minutes and read ahead and read back, and you know, still nothing. And the frequency of that happening like that, the frequency of not finding an answer or not having something you can put down on the paper, it happens more often than you think. And you know, sometimes you can't get beyond that point. You get a writer's block that just, you know, you can't think of anything to put down that really makes any sense. So as you get older, that becomes maybe a bit more of a problem than if you were younger as well, but that's something I'll have to deal with. Anyway, I wanted to share that with you. I think I'm probably going to have to hit the sack now and get a little sleep, but based on this and what I've discovered by working on the rewrite of this, there's a couple of acting points that I'd like to make, but I'll do that tomorrow, okay? Listen, thanks for listening. You take care, and hope to be meeting you soon at Steamfest. Bye-bye now.